we have clearly moved from your historic and traditional way of signing to digital signatures. I think if you had asked this question, say 10 years back, there would be a lot of raised eyebrows you would be seeing in terms of digital execution.
As you said, times are changing, and so should we.
Exactly.
So, yes.
There's a crystallized paper trail which is going to account for when was this particular document executed, who was this executed by, and it cannot be tampered with. The move and the intention is to go towards a paperless environment. The digital execution process is so seamless, and I don't have to chase after my CEOs and CFOs that, hey, find a printer and get this executed.
Hi everyone, we are here live at ET Legal Global Legal Convention Mumbai with some of the brightest legal minds in the country, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Janvi Bhanushali, AVP Legal at Impact Investment Exchange. So it's great to have you here. Thank you for stopping by our booth there. So for those watching, could you tell us a bit about yourself and what a regular workday looks like for you?
Sure. Thanks a lot for that introduction, Ritika. It's a pleasure to meet you. And just to give some introduction about me, I work at AVP as AVP Legal at Impact Investment Exchange. It's a pioneer in the field of impact investing. And to answer your question, how does a workday looks like? To be honest, no 2 days are going to look alike. But a commonality throughout the day remains about reviewing multiple transaction documents, structuring very complicated cross-border lending transactions, tackling one after the other regulatory hurdle, and mandatorily sitting with the board to just figure out strategies pertaining to our deals, recovery strategies, so on and so forth. But I think I'm super grateful because this keeps me very meaningfully employed because there's so many hurdles to deal with. And of course, it keeps me on my desk longer than I would like, but I'm just too grateful for it.
Okay, that was such a great introduction, and I can't, fathom how hectic that must be. But I think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
So moving on to our next question, this is just a general question.
Yeah.
How's the day been treating you so far? What brought you to ET Legal Global Legal Convention this year, and what are you hoping to take back with you?
So the day has been quite productive so far. I think it's a privilege to be in the room with leaders who are actually steering the ship of largest companies in India from different sectors. And as in when we're seeing this trend, right, all the regulators across the country, not just in India, are evolving with time. There's so much of digitization happening, AI being the central theme of this conference, that we see that the regulation which was existing a couple of months back is existing no more and has been completely revamped. So it's really good to get insights from such marquee leaders on their opinion about this fast-paced nature of the work that we are doing.
Yeah.
And of course, it's also taking a lot back in terms of learning from them, right, as to how we as in-house legal counsels can up our practices to ensure that we have that competitive advantage.
Yes.
We are in compliance with what is being currently promulgated by the legislature, and we are always a step ahead in terms of strategy to ensure that the legal, the strategy and the business goal all are in alignment.
This year's theme at ET Legal Global Legal Convention is the rise of the digital lawyer. And I think it's a bold statement to make in a profession that's been, so traditionally rooted in paper and physical processes. So as that starts to change, where do you think something like digital signatures will play the biggest role day to day?
I think that's a very good question, and I agree with the fact that lawyers and law historically have been associated with a lot of paper trail,
Paperwork,
right?
yeah.
However, as I was saying, right, the entire theme is that the world is evolving. Technology, every company right now is actually a tech company, right?
Yeah,
And
if you
in
think
terms
about
of
it, yeah.
digital signature, I think kudos goes to our government and our judiciary for recognizing digital signature in the IT Act of 2000 itself, right? I completely agree with the fact that the traditional way of working and deal making involved that, you're keeping X number of days because the parties are spread across jurisdiction, right? Somebody is in Colombia, you are a lender, you are in Singapore, and you need to keep that 4-5 days to ensure that there's vetting which are executed, dispatched, and are reaching to the lawyer who's at the who's the one who's going to be compiling all of these documents, right? But I think the major change that we are seeing is the velocity of these transactions, right? The country grows, the business grows, and the number of transaction grows. Time is equal to a commercial cost,
Oh, very well
and
said.
therefore we have clearly moved from your historic and traditional way of signing to digital signatures. I think one more important aspect to consider over here is also the tamper free evidence that
Right.
a digital signature can serve as, right? There's a crystallized paper trail which is going to account for when was this particular document executed, who was this executed by, and it cannot be tampered with. We have
Yeah.
seen time and again that many documents which were actually executed via vetting had some questions raised about the validity. But I think the room for those kind of questions have substantially eradicated or at least reduced
yeah, for
by
sure.
virtue of digital signatures. So I think this is great, and I also see that at least in, like, just going back to the first question you asked, right? What
Yeah.
does a day-to-day life
Look
at
like.
work looks like,
Yeah.
right? It becomes so easy for us because the digital execution process is so seamless, and I don't have to chase after my CEOs and CFOs that, hey, find a printer and get this executed.
Yes.
So I think it's a very good transition which is picking up and which we are seeing across the board, across the countries, developing, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm glad that this change happened because it saves us lawyers a lot of time as well.
I think that was very beautifully put, Janvi. It was explained from A to Z in ways that we could all relate to and understand. As you said, times are changing, and so should we.
Exactly.
So yes.
Exactly.
Going to the next question. So let's hear it from you as a legal professional. How far do you think India has come on the legal acceptance of electronic signatures? And for businesses still figuring out that space, what's one advice on legality or compliance that you would give them?
I think if you had asked this question, say 10 years back, there would be a lot of raised eyebrows you would be seeing in terms of digital execution. But today, as I told you, right, especially after COVID-19, when everything went digital,
Yeah.
I think businesses were forced to pivot into this aspect, keep their arms open in terms of embracing this technology, right? And we have been seeing this with our Supreme Court, we have been seeing this with our high courts as well, that the move and the intention is to go towards a paperless environment, right? And therefore, if judicial systems who actually receive a lot of backlash for not moving with the time are also embracing this technology. So I think businesses, it's a very common known fact now that the businesses have clearly embraced this. A small institution to say top 500 company, I think one operational change that we have seen across the board is them embracing digital signatures, which of course also derives backing from law and its recognition as a binding instrument.
Yes.
Right? There have been precedents given by various courts about its validity. So I think it's a very welcome change, and I think for the companies who are still in that mind space of not embracing it, I think you must change. You must just pivot into this side.
Yes, thank you for that. And so, last one before we let you go, what's one thing they don't teach you in law school but absolutely should?
I think it's about while you are embracing the letter of law, you should also realize that law is a people's business. You simply cannot be saying that I have to draft this. You need to understand the business side of things also. You need to put a lot of weight to the commercial aspects of the transaction, right? Of course, the law is here to act as an enabler of business.
Yeah.
The purpose is not to stagnate a process,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The purpose is to be an enabling foundation which helps all the businesses grow. So I think kids who are studying at law firm should actually not discard the commercial value of the transactions that they would be doing. I think the importance that they place on understanding the letter of law, the same zeal should also be carried out in understanding what is the inherent reason for the deal being executed. So I think it's just keeping a broader perspective about the business sense and its entanglement with law.
Very rightly said, and I hope kids in law took note of that. Yeah,
I hope so
okay.
too.
Yes. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
meeting
much.
with us
It
and
was
doing
pleasure
this journey.
speaking with
It was
you.
amazing doing this.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.